All right, by now you have seen this lady, a Colombian woman who has sort of taken the internet by storm. Was she a plant or a pleasant surprise for Donald Trump? Well, that lady, Maren Witcher, is here.
So let me say this. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia.
I'm Hispanic.
And is this a setup? Did I ever meet you before? Huh?
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. All the way to the White House.
All right, you're passionate, you're over-caffeinated. Where do you want to come for a TV interview? Right here in a few minutes. In the meantime, to the battle to find the next Speaker of the House, we're getting word that Mitt Romney has had a chance to speak to his former running mate, Paul Ryan, about the speakership. Mr. Romney going on to say he wouldn't presume to tell Paul what to do, but Ryan is a man of ideas. Again, they're trying to recruit the former vice presidential candidate to sort of make things right in the United States House of Representatives. As Mike Emanuel will tell you, good luck on that one. Mike, what's the latest?
Well, Neil, good afternoon. Paul Ryan appears to be giving it some thought after consistently saying no time and time again to friends and colleagues who have suggested he should run for Speaker. Ryan left the Capitol earlier this afternoon for the holiday weekend. His spokesman says Ryan appreciates the support he is getting, but is still not running for Speaker. What we're hearing is he's expected to take the weekend to talk it over with his family. The two formal candidates running for Speaker are Utah's Jason Chaffetz, who says he will not run against Ryan if he decides to jump in for Speaker. However, Florida's Daniel Webster says he's not running against anybody. He's running for principles and sounds like he'll continue to compete for the job. Meanwhile, retiring Speaker John Boehner is still on duty and willing to stay longer if necessary, but Boehner says it's still his plan to hold an election for Speaker at the end of the month, and it's up to the House to figure it out. With deep divides in the House Republican Conference at this point, most folks are looking at Ryan as the fix-it guy, if you will, the guy who can unite the caucus, the conference, and the House. And so, bottom line, they're waiting all this holiday weekend to see if he will decide to jump in. Neil?
Nothing like a little bit of pressure. Huh, Mike, thank you very, very much. Mike Emanuel. Now to a guy whose name actually has come up as a possible replacement for Speaker, because you don't have to choose someone from Congress. Jack Welch, yeah, the former CEO of General Electric, arguably one of the greatest CEOs in American history. I'm a little biased there, but I would agree with that. Jack, are you interested in the job?
I'll pass on that.
Why are so many passing on it?
Well, I was never asked and I've never been considered for it, so I won't. Look, it's a tough job. I mean, you're making a life decision here. But for a guy like Paul Ryan, he's making an enormous career. In there and gets all muddied up. Whether is what does that do to his future?
Yeah, but I always think it's a no-brainer. I mean, it is the second in line to the presidency, right? If you things are so bad now, you can only improve it, I would think. But yet he's obviously reluctant. Obviously, the time demands and everything else. I understand, but that, being chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee is not exactly a 9-to-5 job. So what is it about the job that's frightening people away, you think?
Well, the polarization of the party right now, and can he listen to all factions? It looks to me like voice was not given to enough people in this whole argument. That it was their way or the highway, and they didn't give him a chance to talk.
I was thinking of you about this because we were talking about this yesterday, Jack. This idea that a lot of the ones who are ticked off, much beyond the Freedom Caucus or the 40 angry members, that Boehner, McCarthy by extension, didn't give them their due. We're told sometimes didn't return their phone calls, certainly didn't consider legislative ideas, and ostracized them. Now, again, everyone has their own beef. But as a pretty successful CEO and a guy who ran things, I mean, that's a dangerous thing to get into, isn't it? I mean, for
without question, Neil, you got to give every constituent voice. Now, you may not give them what they want, but they got to be heard. And it appears in this case, I've been listening in the last 3 days to all the punitive actions that get taken by somebody who votes the wrong way. They're out of the committee. This is a wild system where if you don't behave, the way the leaders want you, you might be a congressman, but you're not going far.
Right, but the idea is that there's an order, and you guys who are rebellious in the ranks, work with us. This is how we're going to get things done. But obviously, it led to some chafed nerves here.
Without question, without question.
So what do you do?
You give voice. I mean, the next leader who comes in has to go around handshaking in every office, listening, making people feel like they're listening. If you don't give voice to any organization, you'll have nothing but trouble.
But you also wrote in one of your many books, Straight from the Gut, I think, that you're going to have some malcontents, no matter how you inspire, no matter how you embolden, and those are the ones you cut off or whatever. Easier said than done. Speaker just can't fire people.
But
how do you deal with that element?
Well, it's a tougher game in politics. You can't do it as if you're running a corporation. For example, in an acquisition, there are very often naysayers on the other side of an acquisition. You give them some time, you give them voice. If they don't get on the bus, they got to go.
Yeah.
You can't quite do that in the House of Representatives.
Do you think that a Donald Trump appreciates that with all his popularity in the polls, it is one thing to be a very successful CEO. It is quite another to translate that into the world of politics?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
You don't like Trump. It sounds like you don't like him.
Why would you start a fight like that? No, that's not true. I think Trump has brought a lot to this race. Who would be talking about Carly Fiorina or other people if Trump didn't raise your debate to 24 million people? It'd be about 4 million people.
Well, 20 maybe.
No, it wouldn't.
I'm kidding. Okay. All right, let me ask you then. Who is your candidate? You like Ted Cruz and the passion he engendered at debates and at forums. But he's still kind of stuck in the mid-range there.
Start out with number one, I want to win. I want to win so much I can taste it. We have to win to change the direction of this country. We have to do it.
But wait a minute, you're not a Democrat? Let me write that.
Write that down. Check that off. No, we have to win. So I want to win. I like Ted Cruz. I like him personally very much.
Very smart.
I'm not so fond of his position on Exim Bank, but you can't get it all with any of these people. You got to make compromises. And I like his ideas. I like Kasich. I like
Ohio governor.
I like Rubio. So I do.
Is there any one of this bunch that you think would be a disaster and just it couldn't happen? They couldn't get to the White House.
Well, some of those people at the bottom have no chance. I mean, I don't know what that's all about when you get some of these folks in there.
Well, everyone gets lucky.
Yeah, not after 8 weeks or 12 weeks and you got 1%.
Yeah. Back to Trump and the fact that he's galvanizing this sort of anti-establishment mood. How long do you think that lasts?
Well, Neil, I've been on the road for the last 10 days, giving speeches in Vegas and Los Angeles and Reno, and I've talked to probably 10,000 people. And the first question, I don't give speeches, I give Q&As. The first question in every one of those meetings, what do you think about Donald Trump? What do you think his chances are?
You say?
I say he's done a service so raised some issues that we all have in our minds. He's done a service in terms of it's must-see TV. It's the old Thursday night on NBC.
I think he's brilliant. But the critics say he has to attach some can't talk broad.
Well, he put out a tax plan. They all
what did
wanted
you
to
think
shoot
of that
at
tax plan?
It's a start, and it's a placeholder. Then he can negotiate
What didn't you like
around
about it?
Nothing really.
Well, you know what I didn't like about it? The fact that 75 million in that plan
don't pay taxes.
Don't pay tax. Now, I'm not saying they should pay 30, 35, whatever percent.
You want everybody with a stake in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's a fair argument. I don't think
it doesn't matter to you.
No.
What about Jeb Bush and his plans? He started out as the establishment guy. He's dropped in the polls.
I think he had a pretty good plan. I think Trump has labeled him, and not inappropriately.
Really? You need a little more passion? You need a little more excitement?
No, we've got a country in trouble, whether it be our foreign policy, whether it be that over-regulation of our economy, that we're stuck at 1.5% to 2%. We're not growing. We need somebody to come in and energize the whole place. We got to turn the ship.
Do you think that there is a connection between the discord in the House, all these anti-establishment candidates succeeding, Hillary Clinton racing to try to be as left as Bernie Sanders on corporate everything? What is going on?
Well, I think there's no question that there's been addressed. We had elections in 10, 12, 14. a young crowd in the House got elected. And they came in ready to do things on Obamacare and other. They haven't been able to get their voice heard at all. Now, maybe you can't get it through with a president without a veto-proof majority, et cetera, with a veto-proof majority. Maybe you can't get it through. But put more things on his desk where he has to. I mean, Harry Reid broke the, if you will, the rules to appoint people in Washington, that judicial system. We didn't have enough fight.
Well, one congressman said of Speaker Boehner, he sucked the life out of us, all our enthusiasm.
Well, I don't know him personally, I don't know, but I'm not a fan by any means. I'm not a fan of what he did. I mean, we had the election, we had these young Turks, if you will, or whatever you want to call them, and they didn't get voice, although the public gave them voice by electing them.
So do you think the public now remembers we gave you the House, then we gave you the Senate, you've let us down? You Republicans, as Dan Henninger wrote in the Wall Street Journal this week, are going to grab defeat from the jaws of victory.
Not if we get a leader nominated, not if we get somebody out there who can give a vision. Look, the only way we're going to get jobs growing and everything is to get the regulation off of us, to do all these crazy, take away these crazy things. Every morning you wake up and the NLRB's got another one, or the Labor Department's got another one, whether it be overtime rules, whether it be this rule or that rule. It's not just EPA, which you see about all the time. It's not just the Clean Air Act. It's a lot of little stuff. Little guys are out there drawing up little rules that are nailing you, whether it be a department store size you in a department store. The cosmetics department can unionize and then cause a rip in the whole place. Right. They've resized that. The idea of McDonald's, the parent being involved with the franchisee in terms of labor costs and other things. It's crazy, Neil.
Now, how are you helping? You want to prepare young people for the new environment.
Yeah.
With this Jefferson University, you're combining, how is it, an MBA with medical expertise? How does it go?
Look, no industries in the world need disruption more than education and medicine. Medicine's a $2 to $3 trillion, let's say $2 trillion economy. Rules have come in with Obamacare, with changing regs, with consolidations, all this. Doctors are still practicing one-on-one the way they used to years ago. They've got to learn how to maneuver through this minefield. And what we're doing with Jefferson University, which has a population health center, the only one in the country that's starting to deal with all these regs and training doctors, and our MBA, which is growing 40% a year. It's over 1,000 people now, Neil.
Is that right?
Program. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're growing 40% for the third straight year.
And then where do they go with that?
No, they're in a company. We don't. You don't come to our school and get a promotion, and you don't change jobs. You get promoted within your company, and more than half are getting promotions while they're working, staying in their job while they're in school. But now let's go to why we're tying up with Jefferson. There's a desperate need for doctors who have to now work in corporations, bought up, they're put together. And for $39,000, we're putting together a joint MBA deal here now with Jefferson's courses. Wow. And they can keep working. They don't have to go off campus. They don't have to go to another school.
How long does it take?
18 months.
Wow.
And 18 months, and they learn business, and they learn today's regulatory environment in business, how to cope with it, ethics rules, etc. It's pretty exciting. I mean, we're off the charts about it because we think this allows them to keep working.
But, you know, you get the rap and all these people saying, well, business guys are still up to no good. Hillary Clinton wants to, extend the time where you can go after corporate chieftains. And Ben Bernanke this week saying we're all the financial executives behind bars. What do you make of all that?
Don't be too harsh on Hillary. The last time everyone was too harsh on Hillary, we got Barack Obama.
So you want a little love.
And this time you might get Joe Biden. And I think
who's more dangerous?
Who's more dangerous? I think Joe Biden is.
Really?
Good old Joe, quotes.
Yeah.
People want authenticity, etc. So.
Okay. All right. Always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you for everything. Same here. One of the best bosses on the planet ever, ever, ever. Take that, Donald Trump. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Just start a fight. There's no reason. He's already tweeting as we speak. Yeah!